The devil's on the loose and he's dancing with the mummy.
Doc Mark and Chorus, the little mummy, here to bring you another episode of Macabre Cast, where we'll be dropping R's where they belong and adding them where they don't. Hello, Chorus. It's here. It's October, Halloween season. Monster kids, welcome back. Newbies, please like, subscribe, and share. And worshippers, feel free to open the Cenobites puzzle box and unlock doors to unrelenting pain. This is Macabre Cast 74, happening now.
Hey, Doc, why did the ghost starch his sheet?
Oh, I don't know, Chorus. Why did the ghost starch his sheet?
He wanted everyone to be scared stiff.
And on that note, it's time for horror news.
Life's real bright, shine bright. She said, open only the strong sides blade. She said.
In addition to Del Toro's Frankenstein and Wanell's Wolfman, James Wan, that's right, James Saw, Conjuring, Insidious Wan will be bringing us Creature from the Black Lagoon. Thank God, hopefully this will white out The Shape of Water. Keep an eye out for AMC's Fear Fest this October. Joe Bob Briggs of The Last Drive-In will be hosting Friday the 13th Part 1 and 2 on Wednesday, October 9th, beginning at 8 p.m., although the films are probably edited where they're on regular cable TV. Chucky, the series, has been canceled, even though Season 3 was the most watched season of any USA sci-fi series since 2021. And if you didn't get your chance to see Beetlejuice, it's getting a digital release this October, and we'll see physical media on DVD in November. Screen 7 has been given a 2026 release green light with Neve Campbell in the lead role. Well, at least they're going for something different. And that's it for horror news.
She said.
And Brownie agrees. Brownie, the corpse-sniffing dog.
Human sacrifice, dogs and cats living together, mass hysteria.
The Monster Kids are sending in their pics of their horror merch. Here's Anaphylactic. Horror Chat Matt. Rim Kim.
Awesome horror merch, guys. Thank you for sending those in. And you too. Send me your pics of your horror merch.
Where will we find the mummy?
Don't worry, the mummy will find you.
Lots of buzz about this movie, The Substance. The body horror movie with the return of Demi Moore. Has any of you seen this? Monster Kids? Somebody? Just curious what your thoughts are on that. I'm going to talk a little bit about Dr. Jekyll and Sister Hyde from 1971, directed by Roy Ward Baker, starring Ralph Bates as Henry Jekyll and Martine Beswick as Sister Hyde. In Victorian London, Henry Jekyll is a research scientist whose life is all work. When a colleague advises him he'll probably die before the conclusion of his studies, Jekyll is inspired to create an elixir that would extend life. Based off of feminine hormones stolen from fresh corpses, he's off to the races. Basing the whole journey on women live longer than men is a bit weak, but nonetheless, an elixir is born. It releases his repressed feminine side, which is a tad aggressive, to say the least. His supply of women corpses at the morgue run dry, and Sister Hyde is on the hunt to produce new ones. When this first came out, Hammer Films were under the pressure of the rest of Hollywood to have nude scenes. Martine Beswick, who played Sister Hyde, had already agreed to appear topless, but the director Roy Ward Baker incessantly pressed her to appear fully nude. The two argued so much about this throughout filming that they weren't speaking at times. Reluctantly, she ended up giving in. The tagline for this one was, "The sexual transformation of a man into a woman will actually take place before your eyes." This is a definite departure from the usual Jekyll and Hyde, but I suggest you check it out.
Jekyll and Hyde. Jekyll and Hyde. Jekyll and Hyde. Jekyll and Hyde. Yeah, well, I look like a woman, but I guess it ain't true. My personality splits in two.
Sometimes I like to go for walks in graveyards.
Dark Mark and Little Karis, it's Horror Chat Matt checking in. My apologies for being so excited to share my horror-related news with you that I have been ringing the bell and knocking on the door, trying to share all my news with you guys. I will try and be a little more patient waiting for Karis in the future.
I'm knocking at the door. Somebody ringing the bell. Someone's knocking at the door. Somebody ringing the bell. Do me a favor. Open the door and let 'em in.
This weekend, we ended up taking our annual trip up to Salem, Massachusetts, and had a great time. The weather was beautiful Saturday, and we're still a couple of weeks away from Halloween, so the crowd wasn't too bad, but I do recommend getting up there early as possible, actually. And my major hint to save yourself some money is to always park at the MBTA train and bus station. Right now they're trying to get people for $40 to park, and I'm sure it's only going to go higher as we get closer to Halloween. We managed to hit all of our favorite spots that we like to go to and had a nice lunch on the water down by the little wharf area. Saw some great horror sights and sounds and took in a couple of museums. And then around 1 o'clock, the crowd started to get a little crazy, so we ended up taking off for the day. Like I said, normally we try and go last couple of weeks in August or the early part of September, where you still get the vibe of Halloween, but you don't get the crowds. Speaking of Halloween, I've noticed that there is a lot of new horror-related TV shows coming to the small screen. I'd like to highlight a few of them. On Shudder, we had the Horror's Greatest 5-part series that was basically just a clip show, but I always get suckered into those, even though most of the time I've seen what they're talking about. Nothing better than a good clip show, but something that I love. On Hulu or FX, you have from Ryan Murphy of American Horror fame, or infamy, if you would, you have Grotesquerie. The first 2 parts have already come out. It's okay. I'll probably stick around for the whole entire limited series. And then he also has a 5-part American Horror Stories, which is more short, self-contained, like a Tales from the Crypt type of show. So I find those stories are always a lot better when he sticks to just a 1 episode as opposed to trying to figure out how to pad out stories for 10 parts or whatever. And then, of course, the Show That Won't Die and its spinoffs. AMC last night premiered The Walking Dead, Daryl Dixon. And then on Peacock, you have on October 10th from James Wan, looks like a survival post-apocalyptic, I'm not sure exactly what's going on type of show in Teacup. And then the one I'm really looking forward to, also on Peacock, is Hysteria, about the satanic panic of the 80s. And I was already kind of into this one, and then in the end of the teaser trailer, none other than Bruce Campbell shows up. So that's a must-watch for me, and definitely the one I'm most looking forward to. In response to Scary Larry, my horror movie origin began with none other than Scooby-Doo growing up. Very young, I remember liking the horror elements of Scooby-Doo with the monster of the week and the unmasking at the end of every episode. My favorite character on Sesame Street was the Count, a vampire, of course. And as I got a little bit older, I don't know, about 7 or 8, I remember it had to have been a Creature double feature, because it was definitely the middle of an afternoon on a Saturday. I remember the first movie was Alligator. And I remember being terrified to go in my grandmother's pool after that scene where the boy jumps it, or his friends push the boy into the pool and the alligator's in there. And, well, spoilers alert from a 40-year-old movie. Didn't work out so well for that young lad. And then it was followed by a movie which I did not catch the name of. And this movie stayed in my mind for at least another 25 years before I figured out what it was. I distinctly remember there was a group of people, they're traveling down a country road, and there's some ghost sheep in the road or whatever, and they walk out and they move them, they were fake sheep, and next thing I know, a guy pops out of the woods and gasses them or something. And then the next scene, they're buried up to their necks in the ground, and he's feeding them. And that movie, I ended up finding out many, many years later, was called Motel Hell. And from there, my love of horror really took off. I would always go and spend a lot of weekends with my aunt, who would let me rent whatever I wanted at the mom and pop's video store in her neighborhood. And that's when I came across Friday the 13th. I think I watched part 4 before I saw any of the other ones, and then backtracked and watched them all out of order. But and from there, the floodgates are open, and that is my origin story. Excellent question, Scary Larry. As always, Dark Mark, keep doing the great work that you do of bringing all the macabre to your Legions of Monster Kids, as we look forward to each and every week's episode.
Yeah, we didn't get to Salem this year, Horror Chat. And at this point, I'm not going to go now. I'm not going to go in October. And, sometimes it's a good thing. Some things you don't want to do every year makes it all that more special when you do finally get to it. I will be going to the Witch's Woods near the end of the month, and really looking forward to that. As far as the clip show on Shudder so far, I did see episode 1. I really enjoy that. That's the kind of thing. You talk about something on in the background. That's what I like in the background. But as always, Horror Chat, thank you for the call. Look forward to hearing from you again soon.
Hi, Dark Mark. Hi, Little Chorus. How are you? Grim Kim checking in. How are you today? Just wanted to say hello. I watched something really fun the other night, 1980, The Children. And the children get some kind of toxic poisoning from the local nuclear power plant. Just affects the children on the school bus. It is 1980 in all its glory, and the special effects are so low on this movie that they couldn't even bother even trying to simulate blood spurting out of, say, body parts, or it's awesome. And it's like, it's so, I don't know if it's low budget, but it comes off as low budget. But the acting is good, and the story is interesting. I love evil children. And I just had a lot of fun with it. And by the end, you could tell what was going to happen. It's like the acting was good. Can they really put all their emphasis into having to, do this terrible deed that must be done to stop these children from turning everybody into, like, I don't know, they look like Rice Krispie treats kind of when they were done touching the adults. So, and it was a terrible situation for the parents to be in, I'll tell you that. And anyway, it was just a lot of fun. And yeah, I would recommend it today. I don't know if I'll have a chance today. I have a busy day. My sister's a community theater actress. I'm going to see her. I'm going to see her in a play. I am so excited. It's been on my list forever. I'm going to watch Titane. Titane. I think it's from the 2015 or so. And it is about a girl who gets in a car, some kind of accident. She has one of those metal halos screwed into her skull. And I think it's a body horror / sci-fi movie. It gets excellent reviews. Now, in light of the other movie I'm about to see, which is The Substance, they're getting a lot of, not a lot of comparisons because not a lot of people are aware of this other movie, Titane. It may be subtitles, heads up. But anyway, I'm going to watch the two, and I can't wait to see, compare and contrast. And it's just so fun when you have a couple movies you've really been wanting to see that you know you're about to see. Like that, I know you know. Anyway, I just wanted to mention that. I hope you're having a great day. I was pulling out my winter gear, unfortunately, including my Macabre Cast hat. And I forgot. I just bought another hat. It's like Cthulhu. The guy from Lovecraft. If you know how to pronounce it, you tell me. Anyway, I am looking forward to wearing my creepy hats now that the cool weather is settling in and it's spooky season. And I hope you guys enjoy it to the hilt. The other thing I really want to see, is it called Strange Darlings? I don't even remember what it's about, but I remember I want to see it. I keep checking my local theater. May or may not get them, and I'll just scoot down there real quick if they do. Okay, I'll talk to you guys later. Brownie says hello. Okay, bye now.
It's cold in hell. It's cold in hell, they say. It's cold in hell in this endless winter. It's cold in hell. It's cold in hell, they say. It's cold in hell in this endless winter.
Grim, I remember you bringing up the children before. You brought that up at some other point.
Well, did you watch it?
Yes.
What did you think of it?
Oh, I don't remember it too much.
Well, that's certainly not saying very much. And I believe the H.P. Lovecraft creature's pronounced Cthulhu. Grim, it's Cthulhu. And if Twin Grim is an actress, then but she can't make an appearance here, but she's going to be on stage?
Karis, I told you, Twin Grim doesn't want to be on the show because, as I said, she doesn't like dwarf mummies. Grim, make sure you give us a full report on The Substance, and if it's as good as everyone's saying it is, and Demi Moore's return to film. Hope to hear from you soon. Bye-bye. They say the average person cannot remember much of anything, if anything, before age 6. And for me, that seems accurate, with the exception of a few things, and I wonder if even those things are due to pictures. So, believing in approximately 1975 at age 6, I do know I was also a Scooby-Doo fan, although it wasn't long before I was a little more than annoyed with each climax being an old man in a mask. I longed for the chance that maybe, just once, the mummy or vampire would actually be real. But I know it was at age 6 when after a day of completely pushing my mom to her limits, she said, if you can't behave, then I guess you can't stay up and watch King Kong. I had seen an ad on TV for the movie of the week, the 1933 original King Kong. I didn't exactly know what this was, I just knew I had to see it. So I pulled it together and was allowed to stay up past my bedtime to see it. From there on out, I could not get enough of monsters. Creature Double Feature fulfilled most of that. Next was Abbott and Costello Meet Frankenstein. That was the gateway to the Universal Monsters universe, and I owe that to my mom. She would tell me, I'd ask every day, is Drac Director on? That's the 6-year-old Doc Mark asking for more Dracula. By 1978, cable and HBO had arrived. We were the last on the block to have it, but when it came, so did slews of 1970s horror, or at least the mainstream, The Exorcist, Halloween, etc. By 83, there was the VCR and home video boom, and every chance was filled with films I probably would never have the chance to have seen. It wasn't so acceptable back then to be into horror, and I had a couple of simple-minded, contemptuous alumni who referred to me as Monster Movie Man, and that wasn't being said affectionately. But I am who I am, and I've never cared who thought ill of me, and I would change nothing. That is my horror movie origin. I hope you enjoyed the show this week, Monster Kids. Karis and I will be back next week for episode 75. And we'll have a special guest, my wife, Laura Horror, here to give you her origin story to horror movies and her Halloween film suggestions. So have a good week and be the final girl or guy in your story. Until next time, stay on the road, keep clear of the moors, and beware the moon. But most of all, be good to yourself. This is Doc Mark, signing off. See you soon.
This is a Macabre Theater production.
Oh, Lordy frick!